Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's time for our Thursday afternoon GMP interview chat with some great friends of ours. We've had so many good times together. We've had over 20 interviews now since April when we first started doing these, and it's just been so much fun to communicate with our mission partners overseas and also with some of our participants who have become regulars with us and who enjoy going with us as often as they possibly can. And I think that's really true of all of our participants, that they love to be with us as often as they possibly can. We've had a great time with so many, literally thousands over the last 17 years. And but today we're going to be with Robert and Donna McArthur, and they're going to tell them a little bit about themselves. But I want to have a chance to chat with them because they're not employed by a church or anything, and they're regular lay folks. But just great people, and they've been on a good handful of trips. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. Let me go ahead and bring them on. This is Robert and Donna McArthur. Hi, guys.
Hey,
it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
And now, and Robert, you're the musician in the family, I believe. And now, Donna, we've never talked about whether you do music or not, but.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, so well, I'll ask you about that in a second. But Robert plays trombone, and he's traveled with us with both our Celebration Orchestra and our Metro Big Band. And Donna has traveled with us in what we call a support role, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to ask y'all just a little bit about your background. Tell me where you're from originally.
I'm from southern Oklahoma. I didn't move very far. We live in Norman, Oklahoma now. I grew up in a little town in southern Oklahoma called Ardmore, and my folks were both from western Oklahoma. So we moved around a little bit when my dad was in the Army, but pretty much I'm an Okie, I guess.
And I'm a preacher's kid. California, Colorado, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
Little here, little there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you guys, like I said, how many projects have you been on with us with GMP?
I've been on 8 total, 3 Celebration Orchestra and 5 big band, and Donna I think's been on 4. So we've just loved it.
Well, I'm just saying that you guys are both great contributors, and so thankful that you have chosen to be a part. Before we get into some of the GMP things, let me ask you a little bit about your background. Now, Robert, how long have you? Obviously, you studied music, I assume, in school.
I actually first started playing the piano when I was about 7 years old, and then started trombone in 5th grade. So a long time now. But
yep, at least 10 years, right?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and now, Donna, you alluded to the fact that you have done music before. How did that happen?
A long time ago, I played the clarinet, but then I had my ear operated on, and the pressure changed, and I couldn't play anymore.
Oh my! Okay. Now tell me what both of you do vocationally. Donna, what has been your calling work-wise?
I'm a nurse by trade, and I teach nursing students. I still do that adjunct when they need me, but I'm really a grandmother.
I hear you. I identify not with being a grandmother, but being a grandfather. Yeah. I get that. How about you, Robert?
I'm actually a physician. I'm an arthritis doctor, so that's where I do my service to the Lord most days. But that's how I earn my living.
All right, well, since you mentioned that, my right hand, never mind. We'll bypass that. How long have y'all been believers in Jesus Christ?
I accepted the Lord when I was 5 years old. So
I was too.
So almost.
That's amazing.
60 years, not quite, almost.
What a privilege to have that kind of legacy in your life from that many years.
And we both had wonderful Christian parents, and who made that decision easy for us.
Well, tell me this: when it comes to a global missions project, what is it that drew you to the potential of being involved in missions?
Well, I was thinking about this as we were going to talk. Probably back about 6 years ago or so, I just had a sense that, Lord, I need to do something different. I feel like my vocation and my primary service to the Lord is what I do for a living, but I just had kind of a yearning inside to do something additional. I wasn't sure what that was. And I prayed about that for a couple of years, actually, and still was not really certain. Now, music has been a real passion for me for a long, long time. I mean, it's what brings joy. And I think about a great song, almost like eating a piece of chocolate cake. It's kind of similar to me. But so music's been a passion, but I wasn't quite sure how that fit in at all with what the Lord was kind of talking to me about. And then we were on the K-Love cruise in 2016, standing in line waiting on a concert with about 1,500 other people, and this couple walks up and started visiting with us. And it turns out, he said, "Well, I play the trombone." I said, "Well, really, I do too." And turns out it was Ken Hughes, and he's a professional trombone playing on the boat. But Ken introduced us to GMP right then and there, standing in line. And he and Donna walked off, and my Donna said, "There's your answer." And that's what the Lord had been preparing us for. And it was such a God thing. I mean, that doesn't happen as a coincidence. And so that was affirmation to us that it combines our passion for music and for trying to serve the Lord, and yet we love to travel. And so it's just been, the Lord had such an incredible plan in mind for us that we had no idea GMP even existed. And it's just been such a joy and refreshment, and just turned a new page in our lives. We just had so much fun, and that affirmation that that's what the Lord had in mind made it easy to persevere and just keep on doing this, and knowing that even now with all this hiatus we've had, that it's gonna come to an end, and we're gonna be able to get back to doing what He has in mind for us.
So through this connection, which, as you said, is no coincidence, meeting Ken on the cruise and everything, y'all were together at the time when you met him. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So kind of the door opened simultaneously for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she recognized it instantly and said, "There's your answer." She knew I'd been kind of struggling. So
I love that.
Some carpenter skills. We knew he had some other skill.
Working witness for me is a dangerous thing, and people around me. So
keep power tools out of your hands. Huh?
yes.
I hear you. Well, let me ask you to give me a little more of your sensibility about this, because we hear so many great stories from our participants. I'm sure you've heard many from participants as you've been with them on projects and things. Tell me how being a part of this with GMP has impacted your lives. And I'd love to hear, maybe if you have a specific story, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be that. I'd love to hear from both of you on that.
Well, I kind of have enjoyed preconceived notions going away. I really enjoyed when we went to the Gypsy Church. I just thought that was probably the best second chapter of Acts I had ever seen. They just took care of each other, and it was just a wonderful experience. And each experience we've been on has been a little bit different, but all of them precious.
Well, now I'll go ahead and jump to Robert. I want to come back to you in a minute, Donna.
Well, honestly, I've had so many just neat experiences that nothing just pops to the top of my head instantly. But I think the thing for me that I didn't expect was meeting so many friends, both friends in the countries where I go, and then friends in the band that are instant friends. I mean, I email regularly with people in Brazil and Portugal and Poland and Cuba, and that's been such a surprise that I hadn't even put in the calculation.
Yeah, and of course that's a gift from the Lord, as you know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian brothers and sisters, instantly.
Absolutely, I hear it routinely. I chuckle a little bit because we've been to Brazil about 14 times, I think, in different cities, and the Brazilian, the wonderful Brazilian people, they're so social media savvy, and I think I have around 5,000 Facebook friends. Of course, I don't know all of them, and half of them are Brazilian.
Wow.
I have, it's just one of those unique situations where, but so many we've had an opportunity to meet, and and to partner with. Just we've met wonderful people in every single country. What countries have you been to so far?
Let's see. We started Hungary, Serbia, Croatia with Dan and Rose, and then I went to Cuba, West Cuba, and then we went to Romania and Scotland, Bulgaria, Poland, Brazil, and then Portugal.
What a diverse group of countries, huh?
Yeah, just marvelous. Just well, and my view of the global church has just exploded too. Like you said, preconceived ideas. It's just been amazing to see brothers and sisters in somewhat different ways, but still worshiping the same God, and just been a blast. Absolute blast.
Now, Robert, as a musician, you've had the opportunity to be involved in concerts that we do overseas, but also in some teaching as well.
Yes, that's been a really fun thing. In fact, some of the most fun things have been when we're in schools. I'm not a great music teacher, but I can kind of be a demonstrator while some of my more skilled colleagues are teaching. But teaching the kids especially has just been a joy. And frankly, some of the folks I played with, like in Brazil, are teaching me. They're really good players. So the teaching component is again another unexpected joy, because I'm really not a great teacher, but being involved and learning with the kids as they learn has been fun too.
Now, Donna, your role with us as you travel is different. It's not specifically a musical role, but we call it support. Of course, we tease about it and call it security, and we expect you to come armed next time. And but we call it support actually. And tell me how that's been important to you.
Well, our first trip was, as we said, the Croatia, Serbia, Hungary. So I've been selling the CDs, and the first trip was 3 different countries, 4 different denominations of money. Had it not been for Rose, I would not have survived that trip, probably.
But how about from the standpoint of your support? Do you find that you have a little more unique ability to meet people while we're functioning musically and that kind of thing?
Well, we kind of tease. Church ladies are the same everywhere we go. No matter where you go, the church ladies are the same. They're always gracious. They're always friendly, and they always have their own set of how things should be done at the church. So,
tell about your friend in Croatia that you're still emailing back and forth.
I do. I still talk on Facebook with my Croatian friends.
I love it.
It like we said, it's been instant friends.
I always love to see the beginning of a project when excuse me, when we only, as you well know, we only have one rehearsal when we land, and
and it's a doozy.
It's a doozy, yeah. And but it always amazes me to see within the band or the orchestra itself how fast bonding takes place.
Absolutely, within 24 hours. It's a God thing, I think. But and sharing, I know with some of my colleagues, like in trombone sections, especially, that we have talked about things within a day at a deeper level than sometimes friends that I've known for years. It's just really unbelievable. But brothers and sisters who are there for the same reason, nobody's playing games. We're there to minister, but the level of Christian fellowship just instantly, as you said, is just amazing. And it's just been one of those unexpected joys that keeps me coming for sure.
Has it been fulfilling for the two of you to travel together on these projects?
It has.
Yes. We discovered 15 years ago that one thing that we really enjoyed doing together was traveling. So we'd done some before, but doing in this setting has been even greater blessing. And then coming back and reminiscing, talking about our friends and meeting with them online. Yeah, it's been really, really neat as a couple too.
Often we'll go early or stay late and enjoy the country a little bit more.
Well, I've seen a good list of our people signing in here to say hello and everything. Many of them you know, and it's so good to see our GMP friends here observing us on the live on our GMP Facebook page. I want to say that it's been a blessing to be here with you, Robert and Donna, today. And I know everyone here has enjoyed seeing you and hearing some of your testimony about how God has worked in your lives through Global Missions Project and these unique projects where we get to go and share. You know, one of our mottos with GMP is going to change lives, changing lives by going. And I see that to be true every single time where we go to give, and we are given back so much more.
Absolutely.
And so I do want to say one more thing. We do have a brand new Celebration Orchestra CD. I just got word today it's being shipped today. And so for any of you out there, we have an October 15th deadline for you to get a 20% off discount. If you go to the GMP website and order that Celebration Orchestra CD, it's just called Celebration Orchestra. And if you order that CD, you're going to get a 20% discount today, and that'll only be good through October the 15th. And I'll be personally mailing those to you from when you purchase this new CD, and it's really, really good. I can tell you, I'm very blessed. I was actually just listening to some of the demos today, and thinking how wonderful it is that what a joy that we have in working with such fine musicians around the world, like Robert and so many others. And so we're thankful for that today. Robert and Donna, God's blessing on you. Robert, do me a favor and get rid of this virus, please. And
oh, it would have been long gone if I had anything to do with it.
Exactly.
It's so frustrating.
And so anyway, we respect you, love you guys so much, and so many sweet notes of hellos on the site tonight. To all of our GMP people, let me say goodbye to you, and God bless you as well. And once again, we're waiting patiently for God to open the door for us to hit the road again. So God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.